Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we're going to be talking about the first Ravaged Realm boss, Setsahara, who has been released today. Now you're only going to be allowed to bring Graveborn heroes or 3 of the Celestial Hypogeans which have been mentioned here, which are Scarlita, Burial, and Talene. Before we get into the team comps, because I've talked to some people and I have a pretty good idea of the optimal teams you can try to run, I'm just going to show you my ranking. I've done my 10 attempts already. I'm going to be ranked 6th in the district, getting 20.7 billion damage. I'm not able to compete for the top scores because I don't have Talene or Burial built up to Mythic Plus, and really Talene is the key, one of the key heroes for maximizing your damage to this boss. So if you have her at Mythic Plus or above, you're going to be able to get a really good score. So the first thing I want to show you is I'm going to lock in all the Graveborn heroes and tell you which are going to be the priority ones to use. So it will also depend on your count which heroes you have to Mythic Plus. That's really when a hero unlocks almost his full potential and will be really good in these bosses. And so the key ones to use are Carolina, Thorin, Sylvina, Viperion, Igor, Cecia, Nero. Not many people ran Salazar. They found that he wasn't going to increase the damage output by that much. Ludovic is a great option if you have a Mythic Plus, especially with a Talene type combo team. So basically all the Graveborns are going to be great options, except for really Salazar is kind of the weakest one, but it will also depend on which heroes you have up to Mythic Plus or above. Maybe he would even be a good option for you. And of course, if you have Talene or Burial at Mythic Plus or Scarlita, you should definitely be using them. If they're not at Mythic Plus, it's probably better to be using like a Mythic Plus Graveborn hero instead of them, because I did some testing with my like Talene and my Burial who are not at Mythic Plus yet, and they weren't able to get as high damage as running my fully built up Graveborn heroes. So that is the first thing to mention. Now I'm going to talk about some different team compositions and show you my top ranking team and what it looked like. So this was the top ranking team, the first one you see on the challenge records here. You're going to want to run Thorin on the first team because Thorin will increase the damage the boss receives by 17%, and if you have a team of all 5 allies with him, they're all going to gain advantage of that debuff. Whereas if you run him in the second team, only 3 heroes are getting the advantage of that debuff. So it's better to run Thorin in the first team. Definitely. Also, Scarlita is going to be the best to run the first team if you have her built up, because she, with her seasonal skill, will give damage and haste to the whole team. And again, if you have 5 allies, there's more value from it. And her true damage, based on surviving allies, is more likely to activate in the first team, because you have 5 allies instead of only 3 in the other team. So that is the reason why Thorin and Scarlita are going to be great for the first team. Now, along with them, there are different ways you can go from this point on. If you have Talene and Ludovic fully ascended, what you can try to do, and what someone ran and got a really high, like 30 billion score, is Thorin, Scarlita, Carolina, Ludovic, Talene. And basically most of your damage is coming out in that first team. And you have the sustain from Ludovic, healing up the Talene, and allowing her to output maximum damage in the fight. You have the debuff from Thorin, you have the damage buff from Scarlita, and then you have Carolina as well, who also contributes a lot of damage. That would be your first team, and you would run the evocation spell. Really, the key spells which I've seen so far, artifacts, are going to be Quick Blade, Evocation, or Light Heal. And I'll tell you the situations where you would want to run all of them. So that is really the dream first team. And the second team, then you'll want to run Burial, Viperion, Cecia. That is the dream second team if you're running that as your first team. Basically, of course, Burial, all the Celestial Hypogene heroes are going to be the best option to run in these bosses if you have them built up, and Viperion and Cecia, of course, deal a lot of damage, and for that, then you can go for the Light Heal spell. So for the second team, because you only have 3 allies, especially if you're not running Heal as supporter, sometimes it will be better for you to run Light Heal spell, and a lot of times it will be. However, like, it can depend. Like, if you have Igor to tank out the enemies, then maybe you can run Evocation spell like I ran in my second team here. Evocation as well also gives you some survivability and life drain, so it can kind of substitute. But that was one of the key teams people ran. But another really strong team is not going for Carolina, Ludovic, and Talene on the first team. Just use that as your second team, because those 3 heroes, Ludovic will provide the sustain for them. You can run the evocation spell with them, and they can get massive damage even on the second team with only 3 heroes. And that is probably overall maybe the better idea. And then for the first team, you can run Thorin, Scarlita, Viperion, and then 2 of any other heroes. Sylvina Nero, it can be Sylvina Cecia, or Varial and Cecia, something like that. Those are basically going to be your key team archetypes. Quick Blade spell on the first team. Unless you're running Talene Ludovic on the first team, then you should probably do Evocation spell just to increase her damage output. Otherwise, you can go, and then for the second team, Carolina, Talene, Ludovic is probably the best. But now, if you guys don't have all of these options, and you want to think about what is going to be your best team, the team that I ran is going to be a bit more obtainable because it's only relying on Scarlita to Mythic Plus or above. And if people have been playing from the beginning of the launch of AFK Journey and they decided to go for Scarlita as their second Celestial Hypogean, you might have her to Mythic Plus right now, and then you can pull off this team. You might have all of these heroes built up. And this was, I did testing, like if you take a look at the different teams I tried the Talene Ludovic, like the ideal combo for the second team, but the damage just wasn't there because without having the Ascension on the Talene or even the Ludovic, it is not going to be a very effective team. You're better off running up your fully ascended heroes. And if we just take a look at some of my other different testing that I've done, I even tried the Crescent spell earlier on, but I probably shouldn't have ran it on the first team. Well, I was kind of using Carolina as a damage dealer, and yeah, Scarlita on the second team doesn't do as well as on the first team, so then I kind of refined that. So hopefully this video gives you guys an idea of what teams you can try. Really, it is just going to come down to the most highly ascended Graveborn heroes you have, and if you have any of the Celestial Hypogean heroes, you should definitely try to make a team around them. I think Talene, Ludovic, Carolina is the best overall second team available right now with Evocation spell, and for the first team, the best overall team is probably Thorin, Scarlita, Viperion, and then 2 of any other Graveborn heroes, Sylvina Nero, Sylvina Cecia, Burial Cecia, something like that. But like I mentioned at the beginning, the overall top scoring team we've seen so far, I think is like, they ran the Talene Ludovic Carolina combo on the first team, and on the second team they opted to go for the Burial Cecia and Igor, I believe. Was it Burial Cecia and Igor? No, Burial, Viperion, Cecia. And on the first team, Thorin, Scarlita, Carolina, Ludovic, Talene. So you can try these teams, and hopefully some of them will work out pretty well for you. Most importantly, of course, it will be just getting, like, doing your daily activities. You will gain some ranking rewards. Like, actually, everyone is going to get a lot of the Grimstones. And so everyone should be able to buy out the Emporium shop with active play, and there are a lot of amazing rewards here. There's 25 temporal essences and 5 stellar crystals, which are really the valuable ones. And then the other things like the origami hamsters, it doesn't matter if you buy them out or not. You can just go to the Joyous Feast and dance around for 5 minutes and you can get 16 origami hamsters that way. So yeah, everyone should be able to buy out the shop with active play. But like the daily ranking rewards and then this is just really for the border, which it doesn't make, like, I mean, everyone would want to try to eventually get maybe 1 copy of the border, but yeah. And then these final district ranking rewards, these are going to be based on the ultimate mode of Ultimate Siege, and that will begin in 12 days. So this ranking for the final district rewards are not going to be happening right now. And this is actually going to be the way that you can earn the Abyssal Essence, which will immediately upgrade an exclusive equipment of a hero from level 20 to level 25. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. This is it honestly was pretty fun, like testing out some different teams, and we're going to have to wait and see for the upcoming 3 days. But I'm sure for tomorrow's day, I'm also not going to be able to compete for the top because, what's her name? Mikola is probably going to be one of the key heroes as a supporter for that, and we are not going to be able, I don't have Mikola built on my account, so I'm going to lag behind here a little bit. Over here we have Rainier and we have pretty good Wilder heroes, so I probably will be able to compete maybe for top ranks. I don't know how, I don't think Diurnal is great for bosses, so I don't think he's going to be so important, and Freester is going to be really good for the light bearers, so I also don't have Freester, so it's also going to be difficult for me to compete in there. But hopefully Wilders, and we didn't do bad in Graveborn, getting in the top 10, and so I hope you guys enjoyed that. And also a thing to keep in mind is your resonance level is going to matter here. So your level is actually not capped. Like I can't really compare it to maybe other people, but even people running the same teams, if they have a lower resonance level, they are going to be ranked lower because it seems like all of your levels are coming over. It shows your entire level 1010 or whatever, but at the higher levels, like, your stat increases per 10 levels is quite a bit lower, but still, just something to keep in mind. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Good luck on this boss, and let me know what other teams you've tried in the comment section. Maybe you can help out other people by sharing your own teams, but I will hopefully see you guys in the next video, and until then, everyone, peace out for now, and thank you for watching.